test mic 1 2. Well, a very, very warm welcome and good afternoon. Welcome to the Central Coast for the final time in 2024 here at Plume Park. It's round 28 of the New South Wales NPL men's competition. It is, of course, the Central Coast Mariners Academy playing host to Wollongong Wolves. It's Pete Pryor with you this afternoon to take you through all the action as it unfolds. An absolute pleasure to have your company, as it always is, of course, wherever it is you may be watching from. The team news is in, so let's have a look at how each side starts here ahead of kickoff in round 28 for the Mariners, of course. In goal, off the back of his first clean sheet of the season last week as well, number 1, Jack Wachowski. The number 4, Parker Williams. 5, Harry Menham. 7, Arthur De Lima. The 8, Lucas Shikluna. 9, Nico Duarte. 10, Tay Headley. 11, Don Neonkuru. 22, Rocco Smith. 27, Sasha Kazevsky. And of course, the number 37, Bailey Brantman. The bench for the host this afternoon, of course, reserve goalkeeper this afternoon, number 40, Dylan Pereich-Cullen. The number 3, Cher Deng. 6, Jordan Small. 12, Hayne Eames, off the back of a goal in the earlier under-20s contest as well. 13, Yanni Nassis. And 17, Dry Rose. For the Wolves this afternoon, in goal, ever present this season, the veteran, number 20, Vedran Janjetovic. The 2, Harrison Busnell. 3, Darcy Madden. 5, Banri Kanazumi. 7, Takumi Ofuka. 8, Andre Takami. The 9, Jake True. 10, Yagub Mustafa. 11, Seb Hernandez. 25, Alex Masciovecchio. 88, Chris Dixday. The Wolves, of course, on the hunt, on the prowl for finals football, currently residing in 7th spot, of course, top 6 going through to finals this season. It will be they who get us underway as signalled by referee Beck Mackey. The whistle blows and away we go for the final time on the coast this season. Menham rising against Masciovecchio. Menham winning out, and Tay Headley will do well to keep it in the field of play. Change of jersey number for Tay Headley as well. He's operated in the number 12 for the majority of the season. Did notice in last weekend's encounter with Sutherland that Headley on the ball was sporting that number 10 last week and retains it this week as well. Breaks kindly here for True. Fizzed in, really, towards the penalty spot. Shikluna getting there first, and Brantman will, or De Lima will carry it clear, and a little give and go as well with Shikluna. Or Duarte, my apologies, wearing the 9. Here is Duarte. Good little layoff there as well. He'll get the return ball and try and get in behind Busnell. Little flick around the corner for Neonkuru, and it's a bright opening 90 or so seconds for the Mariners. Both sides with half a chance really now. The Mariners will have the first set piece of the afternoon. Bailey Brantman across to whip this one in. Neonkuru coming across to provide a short option. Takes the man off the front post with him as well. Variation here to Tay Headley. Tries to force an opening. Doesn't have the beating of Masciovecchio, but the clearance popping straight out for Brantman. Parker Williams. De Lima now. Shifting onto his right. Just closed in around him, but Parker Williams remained in support. They'll just look to recycle through Shikluna. Brantman with an effort. It was somewhat optimistic perhaps. But if you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery. As Jaden Casella found out last night for St George as well, with an absolute rocket into the top corner in the 91st minute. That's sealed St George FC's 3-0 victory over Sydney Olympic down at Belmore, giving them a bit of breathing room as well above the Mariners in action here today, and Hills United, who were defeated 3-1 by Marconi last night. Sydney FC also in action elsewhere today, currently anchored to the foot of the table. Mustafa. Good feet from Mustafa as well to take him away from Menem. Brantman's tracked him all the way. McStay blocked off by Kozewski, who's copped that fair and square to the back of the head. Certainly feeling the after effects of that one. Ferocious effort from Chris McStay, Scottish midfielder. Of course, son of Celtic legend Paul McStay. Over 500 appearances for the boys. 76 caps for Scotland to boot as well for Paul McStay. Safe to say which side of that Glasgow divide Chris McStay's loyalties would lie. Kozewski's back up and about, and the Mariners have got us back underway, but they can't get it out of their own half. Here's Mustafa. Masciovecchio just linking up with Mustafa again. True rides a couple of challenges. Will eventually come back for the free kick. He's taken it at a good 15 or so yards away from where the infraction occurred. Beck Mackey just ordering the Wolves back. A decent zip to it in the early stages of the contest here at Plume. The Mariners, of course, looking for that 3 points to give them a bit more of a buffer over Hills United, currently occupying the relegation playoff spot. It's Mustafa in a wide area for the Wolves, clipped in towards the back stick. Confidence header clear, only finding McStay. Takami. Swung in towards Busnell, who stayed forwards. Mustafa and McStay. Should be Wachowski's ball and is. Comfortable take for the Gloveman. Fairly regulation. As we said, off the back of his first clean sheet for the season in that 1-0 victory over Sutherland last week for the Mariners. Impressive performance as well, a string of top quality saves. Tay Headley just lets it run under his foot. Duarte will pick it back up. Brantman head up and scanning. Across the back it goes for Kozewski. Those two were involved in Australia Cup action midweek for the Mariners. Down at Heidelberg, of course, the Victorian NPL sides with a very impressive performance on the night. The Burgers getting the win. Brantman linking up with Duarte, trying to find Shikluna. Emphatic clearance over the touchline in the end. Williams is immediately pressed by Hernandez. Confidence from Williams as well to simply turn around Hernandez. And the big raking crossfield switch of play towards Neon Kuru. One-on-one with Madden. Madden gets the better of him on that occasion. Kozewski. De Lima. Neon Kuru measuring the cross towards Duarte. Just needs his radar calibrated there, Nico Duarte. It's an awkward sort of height for the number 9. First real meaningful sort of chance the Mariners have had so far in this one. Janjetovic launching it forward. Brantman winning the aerial contest in the middle of the park. Going to have another breaking play. It's the second head knock inside the opening 8 minutes here at Plume Park as well. Of course, Sash Kazevsky copped one fair in the back of the heads early in the half. Nico Duarte, the latest casualty. Well, he's not afraid to put himself about. Fierce competitor is Nico Duarte. Wearing the scars of war for his sins early here at Plume. 4 goals for the season for Nico Duarte. Was suspended for the Mariners clash down at Rockdale for his accumulation of yellow cards. Here's Machio Vecchio for the Wolves. Hernandez into the channel. Oh, it's turned home at the near post. The wicked delivery from Sam Hernandez has deceived just about everyone. The late run into the near post as well, getting there ahead of Jack Wachowski. Harrison Busnell, I think it was, with the final touch. I'll bring you confirmation on that in just a second. In fact, it might have been Jake True. It is indeed Jake True, putting the Wolves a goal to the good here at Plume. Silencing the home crowd as well. Goal number 6 of the season. And no one picked him up. Late run into that near post area, and it was a simple finish, really. The Mariners return to their full complement of 11. Of course, Jake True sneaking that one home while his opposite number 9 was receiving a bit of treatment. Parker Williams getting there ahead of Hernandez this time, and then slaloming past True. Here is Williams. Brantman now. Menham providing the width, linking up again with Brantman, who rides the challenge of McStay not once but twice. Can't advance any further. They'll get a chance to recycle. Duarte finds Nyonkuru, clipped in towards Brantman! Knotted down into the turf. The bounce could have taken it just about everywhere. Janjetovic was scrambling in the end, just landing on the roof of the net. And again, no one picked up Bailey Brantman at that back post. Busnell was a long way away from him, as was Mustafa. And the Wolves have probably got away with one there, in all fairness. They'll look to make the Mariners pay immediately. It's a good sliding challenge from Parker Williams to get there ahead of Jake True. Raking crossfield ball to find Harry Menham. A good first touch as well to bring it under his spell. Brantman is the supporting cast here. Clipped over the top from Bailey Brantman. Laid off for Headley. Laid off for Shikluna. He was the hero last week, of course, Shikluna. And, well, that's his sort of range. He does love a strike from the edge of the area. The Mariners number 8. quite find the target there. The Mariners. That's goal from Wollongong, seemingly springing them into life, springing them into action somewhat here. As has so often been the case over the last number of weeks for the Mariners. Each game, they seem to come up against an opponent who is in the hunt for finals football, as the Wolves are today. Brantman carrying this forwards. Stops and turns and links up again with Krzyzewski. That's not the ball that's required, though, from Sash Krzyzewski. Delivery is normally very good, particularly from set pieces from Sash Krzyzewski. That one not meeting the required standard, though. You can see this press led by Arthur De Lima. Wolves able to just move the Mariners from side to side here with Mustafa and now Mascio Vecchio. Can't get past Menem, though. Menem's continued his foray forwards, and he'll get the give and go from Brantman as well. Still going Menem, driven in towards Neonkuru, who's perhaps not the target man that one might need in that situation. Madden. Jake True will try and chest it down and find a teammate. Only finds a Mariner, though. McStay bundled off it legally, says Beck Mackey. Wide with Menem into the channel. Harry Menem! Oh, some save from veteran Janjetovic. Winding back the clock there, the veteran goalkeeper. 36-year-old veteran Janjetovic stretching every fibre of his being to tip that one around the far post. Been ever present for the Wolves so far this season. 7 clean sheets for Janjetovic. Former Western Sydney Wanderer and Sydney FC, of course. Swung in towards Rocco Smith, and Brantman, or Duarte in fact, will turn it into the post. It's a little bit chaotic in the middle of the box there. Rocco Smith hit the deck a couple of times. Here's Mustafa able to carry it clear, only as far as halfway. Shikluna. Don Neonkuru now. Oh, it's a bit of a heavy first touch to take it away from him. Shikluna able to pick it back up for the Mariners. Krzyzewski, Shikluna. This keeps things ticking in the middle of the park. Smith inviting the press, which the Mariners then look to play their way through. Well, Nico Duarte maybe losing his bearings somewhat there. That's a very heavy ball. Back to Sash Krzyzewski, who was pressed by Afuka. Forced to just turn it into touch. It was a very disjointed, seemingly, passage from the hosts. Well, action elsewhere, and this doesn't bode well for the Mariners. At Rockdale, Sutherland currently leading by a goal to nil. Mascio Vecchio, Tay Headley does well to block off the passing lanes there. As we said, there was perhaps another shock down at Belmore last night with St George FC comfortably dispatching of Sydney Olympic by 3-0. Headlines by that wonderful strike from former Mariner Jaden Casella. Mustafa launched in towards True. Parker Williams will pick it back up and emerge with it. Shikluna. Smith. Wyshorski is pressed by Hernandez. Set up the opener, of course. Under heavy pressure again is Wyshorski. Just clips forward towards De Lima. Tried to turn it around the corner, but Duarte had drifted inside. Janjetovic again, launching it long. Madden. Trying to release Hernandez, who's been busy this afternoon, buzzing around everywhere, and then bundling through the back of Rocco Smith, just hauling him to the deck, really. Or through the back of Rocco Smith, more than anything. Fairly obvious one. Kuzevsky. Shikluna immediately harassed and harried by McStay. Well, the Mariners confident in playing out. Neon Kuru. They've done well to play their way through the press here, the Mariners as well. Emerging over halfway with it now is Brantman, slaloming through 1 and 2 and not past the third. The brick wall of Busnell. That's a delightful looking crossfield ball as well for Mascio Vecchio, who wants to isolate Harry Menem. Instead opts to use his supporting cast in Takami. Just forcing the pass a little bit more than anything there, Andre Takami. Shikluna. Parker Williams. Trying to play it into the channel for Headley, who looks like he may have just slipped. He won't give it up though. Chased all the way against his opposite number 10, Yagub Mustafa. He was always favourite to be able to just see that one over the byline. Janjetovic again has absolutely zero interest in playing out from the back here as he puts his foot through that and sends it back over halfway. Rocco Smith climbing all over Jake True. Won the header, but illegally so. Fizzed in towards Busnell. Now wide with Mustafa. Well, he had Mascio Vecchio offering width. He opted to go central and perhaps not the correct decision. Shikluna now looks to dink one over the top for Neon Kuru. Kanazumi getting there first. And Mustafa harassed by his opposing number 10 in Headley. Jake True. There's a little tug on the jersey perhaps from Parker Williams. Indeed spotted by Beck Mackey. Parker Williams, well, he's asking what is the charge. It was right in front of us here in our broadcast position. It seemed a fairly obvious one to give away. Beck Mackey waited to see if any advantage would accrue. It didn't. McStay gets us back underway. Kanazumi. And McStay. Dinked over the top towards True. Parker Williams nearly turning it over on the edge of his own area. Jake True will pick it back up. Doesn't have the beating of Harry Menem though. Well, plenty of words being exchanged across the Mariners' back line. Not happy with the cheek turnover on the edge of their own area. Justifiably so. McStay with a chance to create a bit more mayhem here as he looks to swing this one away. It's a crowded, massive bodies in that 6-yard box there. Jack Wachowski is really hemmed in. Deep delivery, comes back across the face towards Madden. Mascio Vecchio. We'll go all the way back to Janjetovic. Afuka. Hernandez again Looks to burst around the outside of Kozewski and then Smith. And Kozewski recovered well. Another corner it will be, though. This time, that's wicked right boot of Chris McStay. A couple of options on the edge of the area as well. Takami is lurking, as is Busnell, who you fancy might just make a late run in there. Swung in by McStay towards the back stick. It is Busnell, it is two! No, it's not! It's turned away. You saw the back of the net move. And in the end, the free kick is given. I thought for all money that had gone in, as did a few others in the crowd here. I'll wait to see what transpired on the replay. It was chaos. It was across the face, and in fact it was the arm of a player who was doing some defending in their own goal mouth, brushing the back of the net or the top of the net. McStay, Hernandez into the area now. Shifts back onto his left. Good sliding challenge, recovering is Harry Madam. He's been excellent this season. Here he is again, Madam. Williams, he's so confident in his ability to carry it forwards. Shikluna wide with Neonkuru, who wants to isolate Madden here. A couple of step overs as well. Still going Don Neonkuru. Clipped over the top. And there's no one arriving. Janjetovic wants the goal kick. He feels that one went out of play. One person on the far touchline says no. But the ball's able to emerge with it. Machio Vecchio will receive it back from Jake Troop. McStay. He sweeps it out to the opposite touchline with Afuka. Takami, well, just on different wavelengths there, Afuka and Takami. DeLima, good strength to ride a couple of challenges and find Headley. Menem. DeLima, who's dropped deep to try and create something. Williams unhappy with the options presented in front. There wasn't much movement, in fairness. We'll get a chance to release something here. Well, opts to go back once again with Smith. Shikluna. Neonkuru's done well to stretch it and keep it in the field of play. Kozewski's return pass, though, just a little too far ahead of both Neonkuru and DeLima, but DeLima's done ever so well to take it away from Madden. Neonkuru. Pass was straight into the legs of Afuka, though. Smith, they're ahead of Hernandez. Pass back, putting Parker Williams under all sorts of pressure. Parker Williams felt he was impeded on the way through. Referee Beck Mackey just waited to see how that would play out before coming back for the free kick. In fact, it ran out of play, so just a throw in at the end of it all. Smith. It's his turn to try and carry it forward, and he's just bundled off it there. It's a cheap giveaway more than anything. And Jake True striding forward now. The flag is up on the near touchline. It's turned home, but it won't count. Takumi Afuka. It's straight into an offside position. We've seen a number of very good performances from the Mariners over the last number of weeks, of course. Well, defeated by Marconi as their last loss on the pitch. Of course, they did have that 1-1 draw with St George City, cancelled out due to fielding an ineligible player off the bench in the second half. Here's Headley. Shakluna keeps it moving for Kozevsky. Janjetovic had a long time to see it, but with an effort there from Kozevsky, of course, who saw it open up a little bit. Janjetovic taking his time to release the ball, eventually does get us back underway. Easily cut out by Parker Williams. The Mariners, as we said, undefeated in their last 5 on the pitch anyway. So far in the opening 28 or so minutes at Plume, it hasn't been their most complete performance, as evidenced there by Bailey Brantman turning it over to McStay, and Hernandez now 1-on-1 with Wojcicki. Seth Hernandez makes no mistake in that situation. It's a horror show in the middle of the park for the Mariners. And it's Seb Hernandez who profits. Goal number 6 of the season. And the Mariners are seemingly sinking without a trace here. Sash Kozevsky is apoplectic in the middle of the park. And the one-man wolf den in the corner is very happy indeed. Perhaps worth the 3-hour each-way train trip. The Mariners now with a mountain to climb here at Plume. Launched forward by Wojcicki. Nico Duarte looked like he was being held on his run through. Beck Mackey would just waited to see what would transpire. The contact was illegal, so back we come for the free kick. Kozevsky and Brantman both standing over this one. Brantman the left-footed option, Kozevsky the right-footed option. We dinked over the top by Brantman. Headed clear as far as Neon Kuru. He can't bring it under his spell, and Jake True able to put his foot through that one and send it clear. Mascio Vecchio was herring after it to try and keep it in the field of play desperately, but was unable to do so. Parker Williams again under immense pressure from True. It popped out kindly for Medham. Brantman now. Harried by McStay. Brantman is hauled down by Chris McStay. I see he knows his judo well. Wide it goes with Kozevsky. And now De Lima in a pocket of space. Neon Kuru. This is Besser from the home side. Forced to go back though and just recycle it through Parker Williams. Brantman. Shakluna. Nearly everyone behind the ball for the Wolves. Only Sep Hernandez has stayed forwards. Now Neon Kuru again 1-on-1 with Darcy Madden. Wicked delivery across the face there from Neon Kuru. Kanazumi with the final touch. The clearance could have just about landed anywhere. Thankfully for the Wolves though, just behind for a corner. Stretching the big left booted at there, Banri Kanazumi. A teasing sort of delivery that was from Neon Kuru. Corner to be swung away towards the near post. De Lima gets there first. Thanks a couple of touches on the way through as well, and behind for another Mariners set piece. And we can use the opportunity as well to bring you updates from elsewhere. As we said, down at Rockdale, still 1-0 in favour of Sutherland. Sydney United are 2 goals to the good against the Wanderers currently. Meanwhile, here at Plume Park, there's bodies flying everywhere in the box. It's Parker Williams, the latest one who's gone down in the area. Mackie waving play on. Contact was purely incidental. Wanderers Football Park, that red card for the Wanderers coming in the 5th minute as well. Tough assignment for the red and black down there. As the cross is once again blocked off. Behind it will go for yet another Mariners corner. Brandman to take the set piece eventually. Beck Mackey just playing headmaster, calling Parker Williams and Harrison Busnell across for a couple of stern words. Brandman now. Again, it's a massive bodies in the 6-yard area. And the whistle goes for any one of 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 infringements. Easily picked out by Shikluna though. Rocco Smith. Parker Williams now. Headley. Machio Vecchio just blocking off every avenue afforded to Tay Headley. Forced back to Rocco Smith again. And again, it's a slip in the middle of the park from Parker Williams. Wachowski's come a long way to get there ahead of Jake True. He did just about, but it's going to come straight back in at him. Afuka. Again towards True, who has it taken off his toe. And that's wonderful feet from Tay Headley to emerge clear. Well, no options to be rapid in transition as they may have hoped for the Mariners. Wollongong so quick to get bodies back behind the ball as Kuzevsky unable to link up with a teammate. Madden hoisting it forward towards Hernandez, who scored the second, of course. Brantman for the Mariners. Jake True tracking him all the way. Brantman able to ride that challenge though and find Neon Kuru, and now Williams. Now Menem in a pocket of space. Headley. Blocked off by Busnell. Is able to clear as well. Kuzevsky striding forwards. Now Brandman. Shikluna. Something cooking here perhaps for the coast. Shikluna. Fizzed in towards DeLima, who can't bring it under his spell. And again, Wachowski playing sweeper keeper. Living life on the edge, as is Parker Williams with a neat little spin. And then looks for the crossfield pass in the direction of Neon Kuru. It's fairly comfortable for Madden though. They can't get it out of their own half at the moment, the Wolves. It's Brantman. It's DeLima. It's good strength as well. Hoisted in towards Duarte. Menem arriving late. Chaos reigning in the box momentarily. Falls kindly from Mustafa, and so tidy in playing their way out here, the Wolves. McStay linking up with Machio Vecchio. Hernandez now. Looked like he might have overcooked the cross, but he's found Afuka. He's found Takami, who's just run that one straight over the byline. Wachowski, Shikluna. Brantman has his heels clipped by Chris McStay, much to the chagrin of those in the stands here at Plume Park. Sash Kozewski just coming across to ask a question as to whether that was breaking up a promising attack. Beck Mackey looks to have assured him that she's taken it under advisement, and on we go. Rocco Smith. Parker Williams now. Well, it's going to be a yellow card for Bailey Brantman, and that's needless from Brantman. It's seemingly just said one or two words too many to Beck Mackey, and he'll go into the notebook very cheaply indeed. In turn as well, that gives possession back to Wollongong. Yellow card number 9 of the season for Bailey Brantman, if you can believe it. That might have ignited a bit of a fire for Brantman. He was stretching to try and keep that one in play, just running out of real estate. Well, Captain Kozewski as well, seeking further instruction from the referee. On we go. Janjatovic has perhaps sliced his clearance somewhat. Brantman rising. And he'll have the free kick as well. The contact in his back from Chris McStay was a little too forceful. He's been heavily involved this afternoon, of course, Chris McStay. The latest to draw the ire of the referee, and Sash Kozewski will have a chance late in the half here to create a bit of mayhem in the box. Clipped in deep, it's a fairly regulation clearance for Kanazumi. Then Hernandez has just collapsed under the contact from Shikluna. Scored the second, of course, earlier in the half, did Seb Hernandez, goal number 6 of the season. He came across mid-season 2023 from fellow academy side Bulls Academy, currently plying their trade in League One after their relegation from the state's top flight last season. The Mariners will be very much hoping they don't suffer the same fate. Two teams below them, of course, Hills United, who lost last night, Sydney FC, who are in action later today. They've got it all to do here at Plume Park, though, if they are to get anything out of this one. It's Hernandez. He'll have it back as well, Hernandez. That's neat. Didn't quite measure the cross, though. Headley emerging with it. Good-looking release as well from Headley, and DeLima is in a foot race with Kanazumi, who gets there first. Draws the foul as well from Arthur DeLima. Smart defending from Banri Kanazumi, who was, of course, on the score sheet not once but twice last time these two sides met down at Wollongong. The first one, what a finish it was, of course, the acrobatic volley from the corner. It really was a case of set pieces being there, undoing the Mariners last time these two sides met. As Busnell rising. Looked like a high foot there. The two number 8s going at it in Shikluna and Takami. Referee says nothing doing, and then at the end of the sequence, Shikluna conceding the free kick. Well, fairly intriguing sort of position this as well for Chris McStay. Certainly feel it's probably a little too far out to consider going direct. Plenty of options lurking at that backstick area. Kanazumi is one. Towards Kanazumi, rising. Just behind this time. Well, the Mariners made with it. A couple of flashbacks to what happened last time these two sides met back in round 13. Henry Kanazumi, as we said, with the brace. Couldn't glide it towards goal on that occasion. And again, it's Kanazumi and Duarte tussling. Rocco Smith should get there ahead of Jake True and does. And well, he's asking a few questions of his goalkeeper there. It was an awfully awkward height for Rocco Smith, who opted to stoop down and nod it back to his goalkeeper, and Jack Wachowski, who saw it was coming, was able to plunge on the ball in the end. And now it's Smith looking to open up the point of attack, sending it in the direction of Menham, giving him something to chase. Good Mustafa again defending ahead of Menham. As time ticks away in the first stanza here at Plume Park. Entering the final few seconds of regulation time. Machio Vecchio, Mustafa and McStay. Just keeps it moving. McStay out with Madden. And Afuka. He's driven it in towards Jake True. We're just going to have the 1 minute of time added on here at Plume Park. Perhaps enough time for one last roll of the dice for the Mariners, or will they be happy enough to get back to the sheds with the damage just at 2? As we said, it's not been the cleanest of performances from the host this afternoon, but Menham now has looked to turn around Machio Vecchio, clips across the face, and it is 2-1! It's Arthur De Lima! De Lima delights for the Mariners. They've halved the deficit right on the stroke of half-time on the coast. And it's the fantastic work in the lead-up from Harry Menham, who twisted and turned and tied Machio Vecchio up in knots. The delivery was inch perfect for Arthur De Lima. And really couldn't have been much of a simpler finish from there. There is life left in this one yet. Well, you'd certainly hope so, because there's still another 45 minutes of football to come. Here's Williams. Headley. Oh, this has seemed to inject a bit of spirit into the hosts here. Kozewski. Kanazumi read it well and stole in ahead of De Lima, and that will be the final action of this one here at Plume Park. The Mariners have found their way back into it, courtesy of the link-up between Harry Menham and Arthur De Lima. It's the early goal from Jake True before Seb Hernandez pounced on the mistake from the Mariners in the middle of the park. That did the initial damage. But the Mariners have found a way back into this one. 45 minutes of action to come here on the coast. All to play for for these two sides. We're off to a short break here in Lisarow, but do make sure that you join us for the second stanza in about 15 minutes' time. A very warm welcome back to Plume Park here on the Central Coast for round 28. The final 45 minutes on the coast for season 2024 in the NPL New South Wales men's competition. The Mariners toiling to try and overcome what was initially a 2-goal deficit. They pulled it back to 2-1 right on the stroke of half-time. But still plenty of work to do here at Plume Park. It was the Mariners who got us back underway just a moment ago. As this one's launched in towards Shu. Afuka will chase it down, but Parker Williams will happily see that behind. It doesn't look like any changes at half-time for either side. Of course, it was Jake True who's pressing Wachowski here, who got things on the move early. There has been a change for the Mariners. We'll bring you news on that in just a second as Wachowski dancing around McStay. Brave or foolhardy, I'll let you decide. Here's Macchio Vecchio. Well, the Mariners seem insistent at times on playing their way into trouble. They oh so nearly did again there. Wachowski with the perhaps coolness or confidence to dance around the press of McStay, but they turned it over cheaply. As was the story of the Mariners in early season, and it's what's been their undoing today. But Bailey Brantman's looking to undo the Wolves' defence. The clearance as far as Shikluna. Parker Williams, well, it's been a frenetic opening couple of minutes to this second stanza here at Plume. We'll bring you confirmation on that change now as well for the Mariners. Tay Headley has taken his leave at half-time, so Jordan Small enters the fray, which will mean a bit of a reshuffle as well for Lucas Valela's men. Jordan Small will operate next to Lucas Shikluna in the heart of midfield. He would expect Arthur De Lima will perhaps drift wide. Bailey Brantman given licence to push higher up. Williams, Menem. Excellent link up with De Lima. Could it be De Lima? Well, he scored the Mariners first, right on the stroke of half-time. Draws a save out of Vedran Janjetovic there. Kuzevsky was touch tight to Seb Hernandez. And the ball falls fortuitously for Duarte and Shikluna. Parker Williams, central it goes again. Duarte and Shikluna and Williams. So confident in carrying the ball forward, perhaps overconfident. Just ran away from him there, allowing Mustafa to step in and hoist it clear. Well, has that pendulum of momentum perhaps swung back in favour of the Mariners? Well, no, says Sebastian Hernandez as he looks to stretch his legs and go around the outside of Small and Kuzevsky, and the cross is not what is required from the Wolves flyer. In front of, as we said, the Wolf Den on tour. A long train trip up from Wollongong, about 3 hours each way, I believe it is. Full credit to the travelling fans. Looks like it might be getting a little bit cold down in that corner there now as well. I see the jacket's gone on at half-time for the one-man Wolf Den. Welcome to Plume Park indeed. Here's Kuzevsky. Passing lane is blocked off by Hernandez. And now Kuzevsky in a foot race with Hernandez. That's excellent work from Sash Kuzevsky. Stayed in play as well. Neon Kuru, Kuzevsky and Brantman. Trying to slide it in behind for Duarte. He might get another go at it here, Bailey Brantman. Central it goes with Shikluna. De Lima just letting it run. Well, this is better signs from the hosts. Menem tracking back, alert to the danger. Retrieving it as well. Flipped forward by Williams. Should be easy enough for Janjetovic and is. Janjetovic will launch it forwards. Parker Williams will rise above and claim it. Neonkuru. It's just a loose pass though from Don Neonkuru. His opposite number 11 now, Seb Hernandez, with a chance to advance. Skipping inside as well. Across it goes for Machio Vecchio. Clipped in. Straight into the breadbasket for Jack Wachowski. A bad bit of distribution there from Wachowski as well. Urgence throwing it out to Nico Duarte, who finds himself again in a foot race with Mustafa. Well, how's the experience from Janjetovic there? Again, dancing around the sliding challenge. Just coolness personified from Vedran Janjetovic. Rocco Smith stepping in. Williams. Krzyzewski will have it back and link up with Neonkuru and continue his underlapping run as well. Krzyzewski. Kanazumi sliding in. Krzyzewski will take it away from Kanazumi, and it's Bailey Brantman now into the area, shifting onto his left. Bailey Brantman straight at Janjetovic. Just for a second there, it opened up oh so nicely for the Central Coast Mariners. Excellent endeavour and energy once again from Krzyzewski. He loves bombing forward on that right-hand side. That's the closest they've come this half. Straight back up the other end it goes, though, with Machio Vecchio. Good challenge from Headley. And it pops out for De Lima, who looks to go through the gears. Well, he'll hold it up in the end, awaiting some support. All the way back with Williams. Rocco Smith just walking it forwards. Krzyzewski able to advance. Still going Krzyzewski. Neonkuru was waiting to receive out wide and does. Takes it to the byline, fizzed across the face, fizzed straight into the hands of Janjetovic. Here's Hernandez. How's the pace from Seb Hernandez? Well, that's an excellent recovering challenge from Jordan Small. It looked like Seb Hernandez had got around the outside of Jordan Small, but that was absolutely fantastic from the number 6 who'd been introduced at half-time, as we said. Nico Duarte clipping it over the top for Don Neonkuru. Well, I think he knew he was offside. He did have a little look back at the Lions person on this near touch line. There's arguments aplenty out there. Well, plenty of discussions taking place. Krzyzewski will get us back underway from the free kick. A little too quickly for referee Beck Mackey's liking. So we've come back for the advantage as opposed to the offside. Many discussions taking place all over the place, not just on the pitch, but in the crowd here at Plume Park as well. De Lima. Wide it goes with Menem. Who's harassed and harried all the way by Mustafa. He's done oh so well to retain it as well, Harry Menem. Shikluna, Brantman just keeps it moving towards Nyonkuru, who just let it run. It looked like Darcy Madden had body position on Nyonkuru, but ran under the feet of Madden and then ran out under the feet of Nyonkuru and straight out of play. And the Mariners will look to use this opportunity to go to the bench. Jai Rose to continue his impressive run of cameos. Of course, it was he who won the penalty in the dying embers of the clash down at Sutherland last week. Mid-season move up from Sydney FC, and he's been ever so impressive. Just 16 years of age. Certainly doesn't look a step out of place as he blocks off the passing lane there. Don Nyonkuru to depart. From the depths of despair to the feet of Arthur De Lima. 2 goals down to 2 apiece here at Plume. Well, this has all the hallmarks of an absolute ding-dong affair. Plenty of life left in this one at Plume. Not even an hour on the clock. We said they had a mountain to climb. Comeback not quite complete just yet, of course. They'll want to get on with it and go in search of all 3 points. Here is Bailey Brantman with a chance to do just that. Little layoff, pulled back across the face as well. And Jordan Small blocked off. Well, it's all happening here at Plume Park. The Mariners relentless now. Meanwhile, in amongst it all, it's another assist for Bailey Brantman, who will go into double figures for the season for assists as well. It's an excellent ball to pick out Arthur De Lima, who has a double. Kuzevsky immediately hemmed in and able to turn and clear. He's going to have to do some more defending here, one-on-one with Hernandez. Decent looking slide rule ball in towards the feet of True, who just slipped at the crucial moment. Well, what's the next twist in the tail here at Plume? It's been a season with many never-ending twists and turns. There's been one at Rockdale as well. We'll bring you an update on that in just a moment. Kanazumi can't stick the pass. It's De Lima, Shikluna, I should say, and then Brantman clipped over the top towards Shikluna. Agonisingly wide for the hosts. The spin on the ball was ever so wicked, nearly taking it past Janjetovic and turning it inside the post, instead just turning the other way and harmlessly behind in the end. Little shove in the back, that from Rocco Smith on Jake True. Not too many complaints, a little shake of the head, but contact seemed fairly obvious. Kanazumi. Busnell. Mustafa. Afuka. Playing in little pockets of space effectively. And, well, you want to talk about effective, talk about the challenge from Harry Menem there. Not affording Mascio Vecchio an inch, and we're going to see a change. That will be the final involvement for Alex Masciovecchio. David Carney going to his bench for the first time this afternoon. It's Damon Gray being introduced. Hernandez trying to utilise the full width of the pitch. He did, and then some. Just running that one out of play. The Mariners hoisted up over halfway. Duarte rising. So too in turn Brandman. Madden eventually brought out of the air. Skipping inside of Shikluna. Well, the Mariners fans don't necessarily agree with the decision. But the end result will be a free kick for the visitors, who have surrendered that 2-goal advantage. It was Seb Hernandez who was taken down there by Shikluna. He, of course, scored the second of those two. Chris McStay with a chance to create some more mayhem. Might go direct himself. He will indeed, McStay. It was never looking likely, that from Chris McStay. Jack Wachowski happy to watch it behind. And again, the Mariners insist on playing their way out of the back here. Parker Williams again carrying it forward, finding Brandman. Unable to connect with the final pass. It's dangerous ball out from Janjetovic, and it's straight at the feet of Shikluna, who's blocked off initially by Kanazumi, but it then pops out very kindly for Jai Rose, who drives into the area and draws a very good save indeed out of veteran Janjetovic. And that is the danger that Jai Rose possesses. As we said, he's been so bright, so lively, and all of his little cameo appearances so far this season. What a weapon to be able to bring off the bench. And he's one side a corner here as well. Sash Kazevsky to swing this one away from Janjetovic. Towards the back stick, rising. That was a towering sort of header at the end of it from Nico Duarte. Flicking off the head of the Mariners' number 9. Wicked delivery again from Sash Kazevsky, who, as we said, was part of the Mariners' senior Australia Cup squad midweek down at Heidelberg. He was on set-piece duty after his introduction off the bench in that one as well. You can see why with deliveries like that. Mustafa hoisting it in. The Wolves unable to retain possession. Bursting through there is Jordan Small again. Beck Mackey just waited to see if any advantage would accrue. It didn't. The yellow card will be brandished in the direction of Chris McStay. Perhaps for an accumulation of fouls more than anything. Played through centrally. Brantman. Jai Rose now. One touch to measure the cross. The second touch to fizz it in. It's sort of brushed the head of De Lima. Harry Menem able to pull the trigger in the end, but unable to guide it goalwards. As we said, we can bring you that little twist from down at Rockdale. Mitchell Stamatellis opened the scoring for Sutherland. But just 20 or so minutes ago, Alec Udalshevsky, of course, has equalised for Rockdale. So one apiece that one currently. Lucas Shikluna harassing and harrying both Takami and then Busnell, winning the free kick as well. Well done from Shikluna. Of course, the Mariners currently locked on points with Sutherland. That's a cheap turnover from Rocco Smith. And Damon Gray now advancing. And it's a Fulka. Looks to isolate Kazevsky. He's able to pull it back to the top of the box. McStay! Blocked off the line. Harry Menham, if you don't mind. It took an absolutely wicked deflection on the way through that left Jack Wachowski absolutely stranded. But that is as good as a goal for Harry Menham. Critical goal line clearance as it looked for all money like the Wolves had put themselves back in the lead. They'll have a corner though. McStay to swing this one in towards the back stick. Rising is Mustafa. It was right on top of him really. Difficult to sort of crank the neck muscles enough to get the power and guidance required. As we said, it's been little mistakes that have been creeping into the Mariners game that many had thought they had eradicated. Meanwhile, they go straight back up the other end. Menham linking up with De Lima. Fizzed in towards Duarte, arriving late. Took a couple of touches. I think the final touch was off Kanazumi, which was perhaps fortuitous for Janjetovic. Now, Damon Gray wants to skip inside Kuzevsky. Couldn't link up with Afulka. Rocco Smith stepping in to atone for his earlier sins of giving the ball away. Well, momentum frantically swinging from one end to the other. Neither side's able to really hold on to it for any sustained sort of period of time. And it's the Mariners now looking to advance over halfway via Brantman. Just tried to force a pass centrally for Duarte. It was blocked off by a combination of Madden and Kanazumi. Go all the way back to Janjetovic, who will sweep it wide for Chris McStay. Sash Kazevsky absolutely telegraphing that pass. Finding Bailey Brantman, trying to dink it in behind for De Lima. Madden then able to skip around Brantman. Mustafa bombing forwards and getting past the sliding challenge of Arthur De Lima. Not once, but twice. Doesn't get past the challenge of Jordan Smalllow. And now Shikluna able to stride forwards. Momentarily anyway. Kanazumi ended up blocking off the avenues afforded to him initially. Mariners unable to really make the pass stick. They do this time. Rocco Smith and now Headley striding forward into a pocket of space. De Lima. It's Headley. It's Jai Rose. It's Jai Rose! And turned away, not once, but twice. That is excellent goalkeeping by veteran Janjetovic, winding back the clock. Jai Rose initially drawing a very good save from the veteran Gloveman. Sharply down to his right, and it looked for all money like Bailey Brantman would turn home the rebound, but for an excellent recovery save from Janjetovic. The Mariners will have yet another corner. It's their 9th shot on target for this one here at Plume Park. Rising is Williams, nodded clear as far as Shikluna, who looked to just nod it back in towards Duarte. Wollongong able to clear and carry it forward, and it's Hernandez And it's another wonderful recovering challenge from Harry Menham, who has been excellent this afternoon. Juggled through the centre of the park and looking to release Jai Rose, who tussles with Kanazumi. He's hauled to the deck. And now Banri Kanazumi, well, he's asking what is the charge. But it seemed a fairly obvious one, hauling Jai Rose to the deck. Banri Kanazumi, the latest to draw the ire of referee Beck Mackey. Into the notebook he goes. He'll join Chris McStay. And Bailey Brantman for the Mariners, who picked up a yellow card in the first half. Would you believe it? It's actually Kanazumi's first card of the season as well. Not bad for the defender. Brantman to hoist it in. It's too deep for Nico Duarte, who was stretching to try and keep it in play. It will find its way behind in the end. Smartly stepped in there by Jordan Small and Jai Rose. Brantman had 2 or 3 for company. Jake True locked off by Rocco Smith. Back to Kanazumi. Across the back it goes for Busnell. Just looking to move the Mariners side to side here and try and open up some spaces. It's Seb Hernandez who's buzzing around everywhere. Buzzing around a little too forcefully for Beck Mackey's liking as he concedes the free kick. It's been a fascinating contest here at Plume Park here in round 28. If you are just joining us, an absolute pleasure to have your company, as it always is. Pete Pryor with you. Jake True opened the scoring for the Wolves. Seb Hernandez added a second. Arthur DeLima, though, at the double. Little flick from Bailey Brantman is very effective indeed. Look to just release Jai Rose. Last-ditch defending from Darcy Madden once again. Final touch. Well, it looked like it might have been off Harry Menham. Referee Beck Mackey happy to award the throw-in for the hosts. That's a tough challenge between Nico Duarte and Andre Takami, I should say, my apologies. Yellow card brandished in the direction of Nico Duarte this time. 2 goals apiece, 2 yellow cards apiece. It looked fairly 50-50, but perhaps the studs may have been somewhat raised. And just a chance for the Wolves again to loft something forward. Wachowski's come a long way to claim it and plucks it out of the afternoon sky here at Plume Park. An excellent piece of goalkeeping once again under heavy pressure, and not a bad release to find Rose. Brentman's done, well, I thought he'd done well to keep it in the field of play, but it just ran away from him a little bit at the last. Perhaps just took his eye off it at the last second. Gray let it run away from him, allowing Parker Williams to step away and ride the challenge as well. Jai Rose couldn't stick the pass though for Brantman. And now again looking to release True. Rocco Smith marshalled him all the way once again. And True stayed down, perhaps just feeling a touch of cramp here. Referee Beck Mackey, well, once again, much to the chagrin of those in yellow and navy here at Plume has just called a temporary halt to proceedings, allowing Jake True to stretch and try and relieve that cramp that he seems to be feeling in his calves. It is a fairly heavy track here, of course, at Plume Park. He's back down as well, so he's going to require some further treatment, Jake True, and it may actually indeed end up being a bridge too far for him to continue. Really struggling with that cramp. Of course, we've had a couple of little smatterings of rain throughout the afternoon here in Lisarow. The pickle juice comes out as well for Jake True, and he will have to leave the field of play after receiving some treatment. Wollongong will temporarily at least be down to 10. They open the scoring, of course, just 10 minutes in. Smart late run. Well, in fact, Wollongong won't have to go down to 10 because Jake True is going to be unable to continue after all. He will leave the field of play for the remainder of this contest. Ben Giassen, number 29, his replacement. Two changes apiece, 2 goals apiece, 2 yellow cards apiece as well. A wonderful sort of sense of synchronicity about it all here at Plume. Who will it be to burst this one wide open? Hernandez, Parker Williams rising. Hernandez stolen a march on Parker Williams. Couldn't add his second of the afternoon. You can feel the tension in the air here at Plume Park. I've commentated many games here on the Central Coast, and I'm not sure I've ever felt it quite this tense. A sense of occasion to this one, of course. Quite a lot riding on it for both sides. Giassen looks to swing it in towards Gray, shifting onto his left and unable to get the shot away. Shikluna will look to hook it clear. He might get a second go at it here as well. Hernandez is keeping him under pressure, keeping him honest. Parker Williams with a chance to advance again. Brantman immediately pressed by Kanazumi. He's done ever so well to ride the challenge and release Arthur De Lima into a great pocket of space. It's Arthur De Lima! It's the Arthur De Lima show here at Plume Park! Remember the name! It is the Central Coast Mariners 3. It is Arthur De Lima 3. It is Wollongong Wolves 2. And the comeback complete. Absolutely sensational. And, well, if you don't mind, that's another assist for Bailey Brantman as well. Absolutely incredible turnaround this from the Central Coast Mariners. At 2-0, they looked bereft of ideas. They looked sunk. But this is the Mariners. They never say die, never write them off. Still, about 12 or so minutes to go, plus any time added on at Plume Park. Telegraphed by Menem. Good little slalom and shimmy there from Shikluna. Parker Williams just sending it back from whence it came. And Afuka with a loose touch, much to the ironic cheers from some in the crowd here at Plume. Well, goals number 6, 7 and 8 of the season for Arthur De Lima. Harry Menem blocked off by Mustafa. What a recovering challenge that is, if you don't mind, from Harry Menem. Also made a crucial block earlier in the half on the goal line to keep the scores at 2 apiece at the time. He has been one of my favourite players to watch throughout the course of the season as well. All action fullback. Kruzewski, who's another one of those favourites, who loves to bomb forward, linking up with Rose, continued his underlapping run and finds himself with the ball at his feet in a pocket of space now. Kruzewski into the area, finding supports in Shikluna. Brantman forced back to Smith. Smith pressed by Hernandez again. Wierzchowski again under pressure as well. It's a bit chaotic out there, really. It's worked out in a very roundabout sort of way for the Mariners, but it's hard-in-mouth stuff at times. Here's Jai Rose, who emerges with it. And then he's bundled off it, really, by Darcy Madden. A few asking the questions as to whether there should be a free kick in the sequence of play. Meanwhile, Bailey Brantman looks to be in some discomfort, holding that shoulder. So, Beck Mackey's come across to check on the well-being of Bailey Brantman, who's back up and about, still holding that left shoulder. On will go. No treatment required for Bailey Brantman. He's a tough customer, of course. 2 assists for the day for Bailey Brantman, of course, for 2 of Arthur DeLima's 3 goals. The other one assisted by the man we were just lauding earlier, Harry Menem. Kruzewski sends it up into the afternoon sky. Bouncing over the head of Gray. Fortuitous for Small. There's been another positive introduction at half-time. Brantman perhaps just trying to be a little bit too cute with the flick there. He does have a very large bag of tricks in his locket as Bailey Brantman. Loves those little back heels and flicks around the corner. Couldn't stick at that time, though. And the Wolves able to advance over halfway. Well, it's a sign of the limited avenues being afforded to them. Clipped over the top. The ball was sort of aimless, really. It's comfortable for Wierzchowski, who will just send it long. No interest in playing out that time, as he would be wisely counselled. Menem colliding with Mustafa. Final touch into over the sideline, I should say, from Menem. And now the Wolves look to release Afuka, who, well, he's quick, but unable to stretch and keep that one in play. Well, the Wolves, they do want to box the Mariners in. Smith able to send it forward, though. Duarte, it bounced just before it reached him. It was an awfully difficult one to bring under his spell. He's now able to find Mustafa. Yassin in towards Gray. Towering, emphatic sort of header that from Rocco Smith. And now Duarte. Just holds it up. Happy to keep their foot on the ball here, the Mariners, and try and stroke it around. Well, that's the commentator's curse. Mustafa and Gray. Shikluna's tracking back, doing some defending. Yassin. Harry Menem again lunging in. A final touch off the boot of Harry Menem and behind for another Wollongong corner. It's been a little while since we've seen one of those. Sash Kazevsky barking out instructions there. Nothing free, no one free is the cry. Tighten up. Chris McStay to swing this one away. It's a very flat sort of delivery. Well, initially There were howls of protest from the Wolves contingent as Beck Mackey took a moment to consider her decision. The final decision behind for another corner. McStay it will be again. Better delivery this time. Rising, clearing as far as Takemi, who will strike. And Andre Takemi sending that one straight down the middle. And Jack Wachowski happy to plunge on that one. Wachowski urged on by Beck Mackey, who eventually obliges. Not his best piece of distribution, though. It's straight out over the sideline. You could see he was intending to find Arthur DeLima. Couldn't quite pick him out. Sash Kazevsky will emerge with it centrally. Jai Rose is bumped off it by Darcy Madden. Well, protest he might. He had his legs fair taken away from him. Contact through the back as well, and the Mariners will go to the bench for a double change in the final 4 or so minutes of regulation time here. Rocco Smith will take his leave, as will Bailey Brantman. Brantman, one of those on a yellow card, so perhaps preservation more than anything. Rocco Smith, who has put himself about, acquitted himself very well indeed this afternoon. Cher Deng will be his replacement. The other change, number 13, Yanni Nassis. It sounds like we might have the Yanni Nassis fan club over the far side of the pitch as well. Cher Deng and Yanni Nassis to try and see this one out for the final few minutes here at Plume. Kozevsky to hoist it in towards Deng. Mustafa in a foot race with DeLima. DeLima has done ever so well. He's won the throw as well. It's a cheap turnover straight to the feet of Chris McStay. Bursting into the area. They're howling for a penalty, are the Wolves. Damon Gray felt that he had his legs taken away by Cher Deng. Referee Beck Mackey is completely unmoved. The contact purely incidental, and Krzyzewski looks to play one up the line for Nassis. Busnell able to clear it initially. Parker Williams sends it back with interest. Oh, this time the Mariners want to box in the Wolves. They want to cage them in, really. McStay doesn't have the beating of Rose. Now Sash Kazevsky. Rose has drifted wide, waiting to receive. He does. They're double teaming him here. He does have Jordan Small for support. Instead opts to shift onto his right. Now he will use Small. Small initially gives it away, but does ever so well to pick it back up. Shikluna and then DeLima. And then Nassis! Well worked from the Mariners. You certainly feel, had that one just snuck inside that near upright, it would have been game, set and match, but as it stands, it's still the most slender of advantages for the home side here at Plume. Cher Deng walking past the challenge of Hernandez. DeLima, or Duarte, my apologies, felt that he had his heels clipped on the way through. Nothing doing. On we go. Lucas Villela, he is absolutely apoplectic on the touchline. The contact through the back of Arthur DeLima. And Well, we will come across to check on the well-being of Arthur De Lima. It was very heavy contact indeed. Legal contact, but heavy nonetheless. And we will see 4 minutes of time added on as we have ticked through the regulation 90 here at Plume. 4 minutes for the Mariners to try and manage this one out and secure what would be a famous comeback indeed. 4 minutes for the Wolves to try and pull this one out of the fire. It's Madden. Immediately pressed by Rose. Afuka. No direction on the pass. It's easy to pick you up for Small. Duarte has his heels clipped by Kanazumi and gets things on the move too quickly for Beck Mackey's liking. The ball was moving as Duarte took the free kick and was also a good couple of yards ahead of where the infraction occurred. Cherdeng hoisting it forward once again. Nodded down to Afuka. Darcy Madden clips it forward. Sash Kazevsky keeps it in the field of play. And then Afuka sends it forward again towards Gray. Parker Williams doing ever so well to position himself between Damon Gray and the ball. Forced to turn it into touch though. Kanazumi. Busnell. The former Canberra product, of course. Busnell. Mustafa. Well, little flick over the top from Takami. Just took it all the way through to Jack Wachowski. Halfway through that 4 minutes of time added on, the Mariners want to make their final change of the afternoon by process of elimination, I would say. That's Hayne Eames, who's been stripped and readied. Who was heavily involved in the Mariners' earlier under-20s clash here at Plume Park, which proved very fruitful indeed. 8-0 in favour of the Mariners in the earlier under-20s, and they will get the chance to make that change now. It's their hero of the afternoon, Arthur De Lima, who will take a well-earned break indeed. The home fans showing great appreciation for the hat-trick hero this afternoon. De Lima has certainly delighted the coast. Meanwhile, Jack Wachowski looks like he might have a touch of cramp himself. Physio on to provide the pickle juice or the magic spray, perhaps. I'm not a doctor, but it does appear to be the magic spray. Through just over 3 minutes of the allotted 4. Of course, it is a minimum of 4 minutes of time to be added on. I'm sure Beck Mackey will be taking all of this into consideration as well. As we said, Hayne Eames just introduced to the fray. Found himself on the score sheet as well in that 8-0 victory for the 20s. Chipluna's just hoisted it up into the air. Darcy Madden. They're ahead of Rose. We'll have it back as well here, Madden. Back to Kanazumi. With a raking crossfield ball. Hayne Eames unable to win it back, but he will receive the pass from Menem. Outside of the foot pass as well towards Nassis, who gets there ahead of Busnell. It's very well done from Nassis. And then Jason clipping the heels of the Mariner. Well, this would be a monumental victory for the home side. this afternoon if the results stay as they are elsewhere. Down at Rockdale, well, they'll have to put the celebrations on ice for the time being. It's still one apiece there into the 90th minute. This would lift the Mariners above the Sharks as well on the table. It would give them some desperately needed breathing room above Hills United. And with Sydney FC set to play at 5:30 this afternoon against Apia Leichhardt, we'll set the scene for an absolutely barnstorming final couple of weeks. As we tick over 5.5 minutes of time added on here at Plume, Jordan Small just sending it forward again. Nassus scrapping for everything against Busnell, who's able to hook it into touch in the end. The Mariners will be in, well, you'd think very, very relatively little hurry to take the resulting throw. It's been a comeback for the ages. Comeback complete here at Plume Park. The Mariners with a crucial 3 points that perhaps could be instrumental in their status in the top flight for 2025. The Wolves, for all money, in the first 40 or so minutes, looked like they were going to put this one to bed, but not if Arthur De Lima and co have anything to say about it. Jake True, of course, scored the opener. Seb Hernandez added a second, but from then on, it was the Arthur De Lima show. 45 plus 1, 57 and 79, as he added his 6th, 7th and 8th goals of the season. And based on the second half performance alone, absolutely no less than the Central Coast Mariners deserved. It's been an absolute pleasure having your company, of course, this evening here for the final time on the Central Coast for 2024. In the immortal words of Jack Carlson, from myself, Pete Pryor, it's ta-ta and farewell.